Hey guys, Trav4 here, and today we're talking about sticks and tape. You know, I get a lot of questions on social media, on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, all on the Trav4 social media about, Trav, how do you tape your stick? What's the best way to go about it? What kind of tape do you use? All that stuff. There's a lot of different variables that go into it, and that's what we're talking about today. So last night I went and picked up some tape. So I got some white tape. You have two kinds. You have your white tape, your wide tape, and you also have your skinnier tape, which is more like a player style stick. I prefer wide. So that's what I'm using here. You also have what we call grip tape, which is more for the paddles and for the shaft of your stick. I'm a big fan of grip tape. A lot of people ask about it, so I got it here. So we're gonna get into that. So I got 4 sticks here. I got my Supreme 1S, my Premier Plus, and 2 Infinity sticks. My 1S stick is what I've been using the most lately. So if you are already retaping a already used stick, then you're gonna have to take off your knob. You're gonna have to take off all your tape. Best way I like to go about it, I take a knife, any knife you got that's remotely sharp. I got a paring knife here, whatever will do. Jam it in. Kind of wedge your way and try to take off as much tape as you possibly can. And also make sure you're not cutting yourself. Try to cut away from yourself as much as you possibly can. And for the blade itself, depending on how you tape it, it'll be, you can either peel it off yourself or you might have to use a knife and scissors. Totally depends on what you do. Alright, so as you see, all the tape's off. Got a fresh, clean stick now. So there's a bunch of ways to go about it. First off, I just want to start with the paddles. So the 1S stick and the Premier Plus that I've been using have already a built-in paddle grip. Some guys like to put a little bit of grip tape over the paddle for some extra grip. I don't like to either way. I'm personally a fan of this grip here, so I'm going to keep using it as is. If you want to put grip on, I might have a separate video for that. But as far as the paddle goes, with the shaft, there's a lot of things and a lot of different ways you can go about it. Personally, the grip tape is my personal method, so I will do my knob. I'll put a layer of white tape upside down, and that'll help the grip tape stick to the white tape itself. Because if you put grip tape by itself, it'll end up fraying very easily, and you go through a lot of it. This way, you can get maybe a month or so of use out of it, as opposed to maybe a week. So, and then I'll finish it off with a little bit of white tape at the bottom just to hold it down. So this is how it's going to go. So the white tape's on. Doesn't have to look nice because we're going to cover it up anyway, so now let's throw on some grip tape. So I put the grip tape around twice. I find it just adds a little bit more durability. Like I said, you want to get the most bang for your buck. If you double up the grip tape, I find you probably need about 3 to 4 times longer use out of it. That's just what I found in my personal experiences. So we got to put a little bit of white tape just to seal off the grip tape right here, and then we're going to go and put a knob. I personally, with a knob, I like to split my tape in half so I can get a thinner knob, and I can also use less tape. And I'll show you how that looks here. So I got the size of the knob that I want now, and it's going to be a little bit uneven. We're not perfect with our tape job, so what I like to do is I'll take the knob itself and I'll try to roll it over on the sides, and it'll end up evening itself off of it so it doesn't look as clunky even if you do mess up. So you do have options here. You can move it around, try to shift it a bit, make it look nice. I'll roll it underneath on the underside as well, and that'll pretty much do off the knob what I like to do personally. And then you are good for the shaft. So you got a decent sized knob, you get your grip tape for extra grip. It's going to be held down by this one little piece of tape, and then you're good for the shaft, and now it's going to the blade. So with foam core sticks especially, the heel and the toe, like the bottom of the blade, they take a huge beating over time, and they'll chip, they'll wear, and they'll get to a point where you can't use them anymore. So what I like to do, no matter what stick I'm using, I would usually put, same thing with the tape, I cut it in half, and then I do 2 layers right down here. But it's a composite stick here, it doesn't fray as easily, so I wouldn't do that. For my infinity sticks, however, I would, because composites don't fray as easily. Again, foam cores do. So for this, real simple, I do the carry price style tape job, where you're about halfway to about 3/4 down the blade of tape. Personally, I just find that works better for my style of play, and simple as that. So I'll show you how that looks. Just go on the toe like this, and I'm going to cut it off. I'll patch it up a bit, get a nice toe, and then I'll snip off any excess. And then I got a nice smooth round toe. Missed a little bit of spot there, but that is okay. And then we just go with a normal tape job from there. So pretty straightforward. So that is about as far down the blade as I would personally go. Some guys like to go all the way to the end of the blade, do a bunch more. I find it just adds weight and it's completely unnecessary. So that's what I like to do for my toe. Real simple, doesn't need a lot of tape. So again, that is how I do my stick. Alright guys, so that's today's video, just giving you an idea of how I personally like to tape my stick. There's a bunch of variations. You can do different wider knobs, thinner knobs. You can put little laces down the side with tape, give you some more grip. You can do a bunch of different things. That's just today's video. This is real simple. This is my go-to way to tape a stick. If you want to see more techniques, you want to see more videos, whatever it is, leave a thumbs up down below, click that like button, subscribe for more content, and if you've got any video requests, let us know, and we'll try to make it happen for you. So again, I want to thank you guys all a lot for watching, and I'll see you again in the next video.